RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of The Rational Investor. The US markets are closed today, but you're probably wondering, why am I in the police station? What happened? Well, multiple things. One, I'm not wearing pants. That's a crime in and of itself. I am actually wearing shorts. I'm wearing shorts. I'm in Thailand. It's hot here, okay? I don't like wearing pants. It's just they do have some amazing pants here though. Let me tell you. They have pants that feel like you're not wearing pants. It's an incredible thing. I bought pants the other day. It was like $25, and they're dress pants, but they are so nice that it feels like I'm not wearing pants. Those are the only pants I kind of like to wear, but they're dress pants, and I don't really like to dress up too much. As you can see, look, I have a Hogwarts shirt on that's like 5 years old. I don't even know. Don't ask what house I'm from. I have no idea. I mean, maybe you guys can guess. Maybe we can. What house would Julian be in? No, I don't touch elephant pants, Josh, okay? I resent that comment. I am not a tourist here, okay? So that's the first reason I'm in the police station. The second reason is because at TRI, we have deals for this Black Friday that are so ridiculous that I should be in jail for convincing Brian to give these deals. He didn't want to. He doesn't like doing deals. And like, we don't like to do the hard sell or anything here at town. I'm like, Brian, look, we got to do something. People want a Black Friday deal every year. We got to do something. So I'm in the doghouse a bit because I convinced Brian to create the biggest discount we've ever had on level 1 school and create the biggest discount on the Pro Tools, which for people that have been around for a while, they know that you could have gotten them cheaper in the past, but because the breath has had such incredible performance. I mean, a lot of people have told us to just stop selling it. Like, what are you doing? Stop selling this. You shouldn't, like, something that works this well should not be sold to the public. So we're like, okay, well, we'll increase the price a lot, but we need to do something for Black Friday. So we cut it in half. I'm going to show you guys really quick, but that's why I'm in jail from not wearing pants and ridiculous Black Friday deal. Now let me, oh, and my chair, what just happened? My chair is sinking. I need a new chair. Okay, let me shrink myself. And we're going to get rid of the police station here, and we're going to go to, oh, here's the live stream. Look at this. Hello, Gills. Hello, Miles. Everyone, just say hello. I don't expect too many people to be here. I know it's a bank holiday, blah, blah, blah. It's just in the U.S., though, as Sjord made very clear to me that, you know, there is other parts of the world outside the U.S., and me as someone that lives outside of the U.S., I should know. But first things first, let's look at these Black Friday deals that I should be going to jail for. Up to 50% off. That doesn't mean everything is 50% off. Then I would be in maximum security prison if that was the case. All right, so I'm not going to go through this too much, just really quick. So Pro Tools 50% off, $9.95. Now it includes a silver membership. So you don't have to be a silver member. Just buy it. Okay, you get full silver membership for a year and you get the Pro Tools. Posted some charts here of recent breadth performance. If you started trading the breadth in December of 2021 and you just continually reinvested $10,000 today, actually this should be, I think my latest chart. Let me see the latest. Here we go. Crypto breadth performance. This is public data. Latest, I think, is 93,000. I gotta double check this, but I think it might be a little bit higher or a little bit lower because we're in November now, so this is a month behind. So performance is insane. So you would have had almost 1,000% return in 2 years trading the breadth with Bitcoin. And then we have the S&P, where I love to trade the SPXL and the SPXS, which are 3x ETFs of the S&P. If you started trading that in, oops, that's Bitcoin. Where is my, okay, so this is something, Josh, you're watching this, you need to fix this. So I'm clicking this and it's loading Bitcoin. All right, sorry guys, that's loading the wrong chart. Why don't we go here? You can go down here and learn more. And then you can see the chart. Let me show you. Now, there are a lot of other things in the breadth tools besides in the Pro Tools besides just the breadth. Otherwise, we would just call it the breadth tool, right? So let's see, S&P doesn't actually, let me see, one of these is clickable. There's Bitcoin, there's S&P. So you can see S&P, SPXL compounding started trading in March 2022. And as of today, it's at $74,000. So that's a 740% return with a 70% win rate. I actually think it's higher now. If I go to the chart, as of, we're at 74,800 with a 70%. It's a 70.45% win rate. So pretty incredible. And I think if I remember correctly, the win versus loss ratio is like 2.2 to 1. So for every win, every win is 2.2 times whatever loss is. So if you average loss is like $100, average win is $220. So that's just another cool statistic from all of our breath tests. And this spreadsheet is publicly available for anyone that wants it or looks at it. I post it all the time. So that's the main thing with the breath that people are interested in. But you also get live signal notifications in Discord, access TRI's pre-built signaling pages, which we continually are working on and expanding. We now have the Little Old Lady investment portfolio. So Brian's newest Little Old Lady investment portfolio, if you're interested in following that, that's now part of the Pro Tools. And I think Sjord's basically crypto research, I would call it like a little crypto research names, is going to be another portfolio we're going to add. And then we also have the school. Okay. So if you don't know anything about trading and you really want to get hardcore into this, jump into the school. And it's a huge, intense program. And I think everyone here knows, most of you watching are probably taking at least a level 1. So the level 1 is $7.99. I don't think we've ever done the level 1 for this price. The cheapest we did was like $8.50 or something. So we've got $7.99 for the level 1. If you know anyone that might want to take it, this is the time, because it's never going to be, I don't see us ever doing this price again, because we're even looking at changing the format of the level 1, where right now, as everyone knows, it's an interactive course where we have Grim as a full-time teacher and Joshua as a teaching assistant, helping answer any and all questions you have. It's not something you're going to find anywhere else where you get this much hands-on help through the program. So this might be the last time we're offering it at such a low price. We're looking at doing some other things to help lower the price, but that's not going to be the same type of hands-on program. And of course, we have the level 1 and level 2+3 if you're interested in those packages, 2,000 and 2,900. Those are, the same as last year. We didn't raise the price, even with all this inflation. So huge discounts. You guys can check out the page yourself, obviously, and we'll send out marketing emails and stuff like that. I just thought I would touch on it. I think that's enough talking about it, but I had to explain why I was in jail. All right, so let's get into what is going on. What is going on in the market? Last week I was talking about reverse repo. So this is as of November 22nd. Where were we when I was talking about it last week? Let me refresh this. I love how my water bottle like partially disappears because the top is green. It's amazing how well that filtering works, right? All right, reverse repo. Let's zoom in on this and see what's going on here. So last week, just 10 days ago, we were at a trillion. Now we're at $931 billion. So we drained, in just 10 days, we drained almost $100 billion. That means that we've only got 90 days left if they continue at this rate, which means we're going to be drained by February, the end of February 2024. And then what's going to happen? What is going on with the reverse repo? What is it being used for? Well, it's being used, right, to create liquidity for the government so they can continue to create more and more debt. But when this runs out, who's going to step in to help pay for the government bonds to help, keep the government going? That's the big question. What is going to happen? So I think that could be a significant event that I think a lot of people are talking about, and it's something to keep your eye on. So I'm going to touch on it, not every week, but every so often. I'm going to look into a couple other things. I want to find out the ultimate liquidity indicator. There's so many different liquidity indicators out there. So many people saying it affects this and that and that. And I don't think anybody really knows what they're talking about 100%. So I am on a mission to find the ultimate liquidity indicator and determine if it actually does anything or matters. I'm really curious because I've seen arguments on both sides. I'm going to move this so I can watch what you guys are saying up here. Okay, so Mr. Test mentioned something about the breadth indicator and said beginning of November, 4 from 5 are losers. Okay, so I'm gonna, do you guys want me to address that and you want to see the breadth results, or do you want me to continue and I'll talk about that at the end? So let me know in the comments if you want me to address it now. Otherwise, we'll keep talking about, because I do have the data in another spreadsheet that I keep myself, and I can show you the exact amounts of losses, and percentage wise compared to the win, they're pretty small, and the breadth does get chopped up. We've never had such an extreme indication of the breadth. So you guys let me know if you want me to look into that and show you. Otherwise, I'll go through the rest of the show and I'll show it at the end. Or if you want to see it now, I'll show it now. In the meantime, I'm going to pull up investor sentiment survey while you guys are giving me comments. And I will show you this. So week ending here, 11/15, November 15, 2023, we have 43.8% bullish and 28.1% bearish. If I refresh it, where are we at this week? 23.6% bearish and 45.3% bullish. When this is extremely low. So the last time, if we look at historical data, the last time bearish sentiment was this low was right here. July 26, July basically, so we're at 23.6. So I would say right here, July 19th to August 2nd. Okay. So July 19th, let's pull up that chart. What happened with the S&P? Right here. Like this. Right here, 2023. Right here. So here is June. Here's July, all of July. July 19th. Right here. This was very low bearish sentiment. And look at what happened. We just kept going down. Kept going down, August, and kept going down. When the bearish sentiment was that low, the market reversed. I don't know about you guys, but the market here doesn't look too different than here. So this is Bitcoin I'm showing, by the way. If we go to the S&P, it's actually more extreme. So right here is, let's go to a daily. Make this bigger for you guys. Right here. Okay, look at this. July 19th is right here. We basically topped on July 19th. And then we started to continue lower. Here's August 3rd. So what were the dates that I showed you? Right here. All the way. This was the entire topping period when bearish sentiment was at the lowest. And that was the entire top period. July 19th to August 2nd was the market top. Right here. So again, July 19th right here at 4,550 to when we finally fell on August 2nd. This entire period was the topping period. So if we follow the same playbook, by the way, we have a TD9 on the daily chart. If we follow the same playbook, then we're in a topping process right now. We're either topping today, or we're going to have 2 to 3 weeks of distribution before we finally roll over. If we follow the same playbook that happened before, I don't see why if most investors are bullish and the market's goal is to take the maximum amount of money from the maximum amount of people, why wouldn't it reverse here? Why not go lower? I mean, there's no, it doesn't make any sense why it would continue higher. Why not at least have a pullback and grab some liquidity? Okay, so I just wanted to make that point. I'm going to refresh my YouTube because I don't see any comments, and normally you guys talk a lot. I don't know why it's not loading. Let me refresh this. Okay, so no comments. Weird. Normally you guys talk a lot. I don't know what's going on. Why is no one talking? Well, look, Mr. Test comment, I want to clarify on that. So I'm going to pull up the breadth chart and show it. The other breadth chart that I have. Breadth data. Wait 1 second, guys. I got to sign into my, I'm in a different browser window that I use for TRI. So let me sign in to this other profile really quick. 1 second. Okay, let me just use my phone. Yes, it's me. Okay, number 3. Okay, I'm gonna pull up where's my Google Drive? Okay. Breadth data. Okay, so just keep in mind that this spreadsheet is this spreadsheet is not as pretty as the public one. This is a private one that I've been updating. However, I don't update this one publicly, and I wait because the other spreadsheet is public. And if we update this one continuously, the public one continuously, then you wouldn't have to subscribe to the breadth, and you could just watch that, if you know what I'm saying. So, all right, I'm going to share this, and we're going to go through this. So this is Bitcoin, okay? And here are the prices, right? And here's the updated data for the last couple signals. So as you can see, the breadth caught the big move right here. This was a big 28% move right here. Let me double check the percent gain. Yeah. Okay. 28% T159. So you can see we caught the bull 26,800 all the way to 34,500. And then, as is normal, when you get a big move, sometimes you hit a big pullback. So you had the big 28% return trade, and then you got a negative 7% trade, and then you got a negative 1%, and then you got a positive 0.66%, and then you got a negative 0.14%, and then the most recent one hasn't closed yet. It's a bear signal, which I actually shouldn't share because it actually just came out. So, okay, well, you guys already saw it, so it's not a big deal, but you understand why I'm not sharing this spreadsheet. So the last 5 signals, 2 have been correct, 3 wrong, but as a percentage, as long as you took the October 15th trade, you're up significantly. You're up 20%. So hopefully that makes sense, Mr. Test. I am using the breadth since beginning of November, and 4 from 5 are losers. That's what you said. So, okay, you did miss the big signal. I'm sorry about that. I can't really, this is a real tool that's been backtested over 4 years, and all I can present is what it does. So I hope that makes sense and that is an appropriate explanation. I do think that the signals in the end will prove to be correct. And all that's happening right now is it's getting chopped up a little bit. The price action is very choppy and very fast. And we have to keep in mind that the breadth is a daily updated indicator. It's not reading like 15-minute time frames. Otherwise, it would react faster. And we are looking at coming out with a faster indicator. But for now, this works quite well over time. Yeah, and if we go down here, you can see I calculated the average win versus loss, where the average win is double the average loss. 2.18. I said 2.2. It's about 2.18. And you can see all the returns over time. So 861%. And then here is like returns if you traded this with 2x margin with no fees, but all exchanges have fees. So for example, Kraken with its fees, it would be 2,400% versus 4,300 with no fees. See how much fees make a difference. Because of fees, Kraken 3x is actually, you make less. Bytebit, you can see that the fees are so much less that I actually have to fix this calculation. I don't know why it says, I think this is wrong. Ignore this 4,000. There's no way it's 4,600. 3x I might believe. And then IBKR, for example, has a 2x where you've got 1,000% more because the fees are just so much lower than Kraken. Kraken fees are just ridiculous. I don't. We have an account in Kraken that is auto trading, but I do not recommend using Kraken for anyone. Their fees are very high. IBKR or basically any other major crypto exchange is cheaper for margin trading than Kraken is. So that's a big thing that I found out. And win rate on Bitcoin is 58.7%. So hopefully that clears things up. I don't even know if Mr. Test is listening anymore, but I don't think if you took you took all these trades, you're not really down that much, right? So these kind of canceled each other out. And this is the only big loser right here. If you took the 11, that one trade, otherwise you'd only be down about 3%, maximum 3% or so. So yeah, hopefully that helps with the explanation. Let's go back to the show. I think I'm wasting too much time on this, but I really wanted to clarify that comment. So, okay. So I talked about the sentiment and the problem with that and historical events that have happened. And I want to look at options market because, of course, we have options expiry, right? So let's refresh. Let me drink from my invisible water bottle. Have to drink a lot because I went running today. A little bit thirsty. Very interesting options data, and I commented on this in the member lounge. I don't like how many puts I'm seeing every week. There is a lot of puts. Everyone, I'm surprised at the low amount of bear. This is the one thing that's weird. So many people are bullish, but the put volume is so high, the open interest. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. But right now, max pain is between 456 and 450. And where is the S&P sitting? Well, 4560, which is 456. So that means we're right here, which means that if they want max pain on Friday, the market should pull back to about 453. That's going to be max pain. So let's see if that happens. Now let's go into next week. Okay, let's look at the options going into next week. Look at this. 24,000 puts and almost no calls. Look at this put wall. And this is not a unique thing. Watch every day. Look at the puts compared to the calls. Look at the puts. Look at this spike. 443 and then basically no calls. None. What is going on? Look at all the puts. 10,000. And then calls just 2,000 to give you. It's very strange. And then all of a sudden, we have 42,000 calls at 455 and not as many puts. Like we have puts, but not 42,000. So what do you guys think? What do you think is going on? Look at the calls here. Just 2,000, 2,000. It's not really much here. Let's keep going. Let's see. So the weeklies, the expiry on Friday are normally what matter. So we've got next month 12/8 and 12/15. So here we go, 12/8, right? A lot of calls at 460, 27,000, and puts don't happen until around 440. And then if we go to 12/15, right? A lot more calls start popping up. 53,000, 51,000, 72,000. And then we've got puts here down at 4350, 4300. Let's go out a little bit further, 1222. A lot of calls. And puts we've got a put wall again at 4400. But the volume it's a lot less. It's a lot less puts. So this is a lot of good information. Now we can combine this. We have to take a holistic approach to this. Do you guys understand what I mean when I say holistic? Like if a doctor takes a holistic approach to your health, he's looking at the whole system. So you have to look at the whole system. Humans tend to focus on one little thing and then that one detail, and they say, how do I fix that one thing by doing this other thing? But that's not how it works. You have to look at the whole thing, and sometimes something that's over here, like for example, if you look, something interesting I've learned recently with our body is if you have muscle pain in one area, especially like in your core or your upper legs or your hips, you could have pain in your hips, where it feels like it's from maybe the front, but actually it's reference pain coming from an issue in your back, maybe your lower back or your glutes. So this is you have to take a holistic approach to solve that problem. You have to look at all the muscles and how they're connected and what could be affecting what. It's almost the same with trading. So we looked at the sentiment of investors, but then we also have to look at the options market. And what the options market is telling me is that this market is not ready to drop, which in a way, it makes sense with my sentiment data information, which tells me, okay, we might sit up here for another 2 weeks. We're not going to drop yet. Maybe we'll pull back a little bit, but we've got these massive walls of puts. So we've got 40, and 4,500. Those are our walls. And if we go into next week, right, I'm going to go over it again. What's next week? 11:31, 12:1, 11:30, right? Huge put wall, 12:1. That's the big expiry. We've got a huge call wall at 45.50 and then put wall at 4,400. So this is our wall, but the market's not going to let us pull back too much until the end of this month. Because look at all the puts here. There's a lot every day. I don't think they're going to let it pull back too much. This is just too many. 24,000. It's crazy. 61,000. 27,000. It's a lot. It's a lot for a weekly expiry. So my thinking is that, again, the market is going to sit up here for maybe a couple more days. And then it's going to start to pull back in December. I could see a serious pullback. I think we're topping out. We're not going to go to new highs like everyone's talking about. I'm going to pull up the chart again. We've got an 8, 9 on the weekly chart. We're in my short zone. The weekly, let's take a look at the weekly. The weekly is creating a divergence. So we only have to push a little bit higher. RSI is not going to reach this previous high. It's not going to happen. It's going to put in a divergence. 3-day, let's check the 3-day chart. Yeah, so the weekly and the 3-day do look strong still. They haven't crossed over. But this daily is starting to show it's tired. And this is the 4-hour that I'm watching. I'm looking for this breakdown in the 4-hour. For now, there's no breakdown yet. I'm not saying short right now. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we're getting close to topping out. Consider taking some profits. But don't necessarily pull the trigger on the shorts yet. Don't do it yet. Wait. Okay? Because we could oscillate here. We could push a little bit higher for a little bit longer. There's no reason why that can't happen. They have to keep those massive amount of puts from getting paid. If we look at even here, right? This could be a potential ABCD pattern. There's your first one, and there's your second one. And the ABCD pattern points to 46.15, which would be right above the previous highs. Grab the liquidity there and then head lower. That would be almost too obvious. I would be shocked if that happens. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to get that high. But I'm not a wizard. I can't claim, even though I have a Hogwarts shirt on, I'm not a wizard. So just my suggestion is proceed with caution. I am slowly looking at shorts and I'm unloading longs. That's my position. Okay, let's look at some other stuff. DXY. What's going on with DXY? DXY has a TD8 coming in. It's reached a support level. I'm waiting to see what happens with RSI down here. I'm not doing anything yet. I need to see a W on the other side of this trend line. But I'm watching it closely here. Okay. How long have I been going here? 28 minutes. So we're 29 minutes in. I know you guys like crypto. Let's jump over to Bitcoin. Let's talk about what's going on in crypto land. Bitcoin broke down on the daily chart. This is a breakdown on the daily chart. We had a 7 come in. We had an 8 and 9. It pushed through that. We had a 7 come in. And it seems like it's going through a topping process. Now, I've discussed my theory, and someone brought this up, of the date range. So right here, you had 60 bars. Basically 2 months to load up. And then the rally should have then been only 30 days. Right here. Yeah. So the rally, the actual price movement normally takes half that time. So it happened in 29 days. If you really want to be strict about it, when that price really did take off, It's 24 days. Okay. And the major price movement actually happened in just 7 days. You really only had 7 days to catch the rally. The rest of the time was nothingness. But, you could say here 24 days. We'll call it 24 days because the price still went up. And now, once we've topped out, how many days has it been so far? We've been up here for 14 days, 2 weeks. Ideally, the topping process, if it's topping, should take anywhere from 35 days to 60 days to top out before price moves again. So that's what I'm looking at. See here, when price oscillated, look, 55 days. Here again, where price did nothing, 55 days. And then it moved in how much time? Where did it take? How long did it take to bottom? 36 days. So movements seem to happen within 30 days here as well, right? Let's go back. Where did it top out? 34 days was the top out. And then we consolidated and did nothing really for 60 days. I mean, you could say price trended down. You could. Again, this is just a general theory. It's just something I wanted to touch on. Somebody mentioned that they wanted me to talk about this, so I thought I would talk about it again. So if it takes, let's say it's going to take about 45 days to distribute. Let's be early. So that means Bitcoin should top out somewhere around December 10th. But maybe it does take 60 days. If it takes 60 days, December 20th, right around Christmas. What a great Christmas if Bitcoin crashes around Christmas time. Wouldn't that be a wonderful Christmas? So many people would cry. All the crypto moon boys would be upset. I really shouldn't be bearish about this because I know the way to get a lot of views is to be really bullish, but I'm not seeing a rosy picture here on the daily chart. Now, if I go to a weekly chart, let's see if I can find something a little bit more rosy. Let's look at a weekly chart. You're welcome, Test. Hopefully that helps clear things up. Let's look at this weekly chart. All right. See how price tagged the top of this trend line, by the way. Now, this is a hastily drawn trend line. I'm sure it's not perfect. I'm sure somebody could draw something a little bit better. But I think in general, it makes sense looking at this and how price kind of stopped. We hit a TD9 on the weekly chart. Traditionally, if you hit a TD on a weekly chart, price does at least pause and you get a bit of a pullback. See what happened when we had a 7 before? Pause, and then we had a 3-week pullback before the big rally. So now we've paused for 2 weeks. Maybe we pause for 3 more weeks before we move higher. Or we get a pullback. See what happened here? We had a pullback. Here we had a pause for 2 weeks before we moved higher. Now, the weekly looks quite bullish. I can understand why people are in bull mood. This RSI and the stochastic RSI look great. However, we are at the top of this trendline channel. I've got a 9 on a 3-day chart. I've got divergence coming in with price. I've got a daily chart that's broken down. I've got a stochastic RSI that is bearish on a daily time frame. I've got a lot of things that make me not feel so bullish about this market. And I've got extreme bullish exuberance in the crypto world. I wish I had a good crypto sentiment indicator. I mean, I guess we have crypto fear and greed indicator. I don't really like I don't really like using the fear and greed. I'd rather look at some kind of investor sentiment survey. But if we look at the crypto fear and greed center, we're at a 66 greed. We've been at a greed for the whole month. That can't be a good thing, right? So that's a concern of mine. Oh, I'm showing it on the wrong. You guys weren't seeing that. So here we go. Crypto fear and greed right here. And this, for all intents and purposes, this looks like a topping pattern to me. Distribution. So that's what I'm seeing with Bitcoin. Let's look at the total. You know, sometimes that gives a little bit better signal, but it really doesn't look that different. Let me see something here. Did we break down? So on the total, we actually didn't break down yet. That's something interesting. I need to see a breakdown of this to really get super bearish. There isn't a breakdown yet. If price can break down below this 10, what is this line I have here? Hold on, guys. Let me double check this. Why can't I see my indicators? I want to move this. Wish I could move this higher. Anyway, what is my indicator here? I'm pretty sure it's a 10. Yeah, okay, 21 EMA. Yeah, it's an important one. I want to see price go below the 21 EMA before I can get too crazy bearish. It looks like a topping process. It walks like a topping process. It's quacking like a topping process. But is it really a topping process? I can't be I can't be sure with the weekly and the 3-day being as strong as it is without seeing RSI breakdown, at least on the total here. I need to see a breakdown. I haven't seen that yet. So that's one issue. Is this a place to take profits? Sure. Could we go higher from here? Sure. Do I recommend putting on shorts yet? No, I don't. I don't recommend putting shorts on yet. I think it would be risky. I think you're front running here. I don't see any issue with trading the range though. By the way, if we broke down from here, Chaos says we're going right back to 1 trillion. So right back to where we were in August. That would be funny. You can play the range. I don't see anything wrong with that on these lower time frames. Just understand that the minute we break the highs, you short. And then the minute we get below the lows, you long. So, and you could also use fibs here. I've shown this multiple times. The problem is that sometimes it goes beyond. But if this, for example, was your range, then you just draw the fibs and then you buy at 78.6 and 88.6. I like to use those as my two entries. You see a tag 78.6 and it reversed. So then you look at the reversal area right here from here to here. And then you sell at 78.6 and 88.6 and look at the tags. And then you short again. And then you just do it in the other direction. Now, the problem is that sometimes it goes beyond your count. So, for example, if you were trading the range like this, you would have been stopped out here. This would have been your stop out. You would have had to use the previous one, and then you would have been fine. It came right into 78.6 and 88.6, and you could have longed. And then you would just do the same thing again, and you would, right, like this. So then you see you got 88.6 and 78.6 tagged, or you could have used back here, and you had both 78.6 and 88.6. Let's trade the range using fibs. Look at those 78.6, 88.6 levels from the previous range. Sometimes using the biggest range right here, expansion point of the entire range, is the safest strategy if you don't want to get stopped out and you want to have the lowest risk entries possible. But sometimes I like to use the more up-to-date range, the previous one, to hit the next one. But sometimes, like for example in this case, you can get stopped out. This would have been a stop out with that scenario, because once it passes the low, you're basically, that's your stop hit. So that's a little quick tutorial on how you could trade the range in a very simple way, just using fibs and price action. I don't think momentum indicators are so good for short-term price action. I think they'll steer you in the wrong way, in the wrong direction. I think they're great on time frames like the daily, 3-day, weekly, stuff like that. I think they're very useful. But lower time frames, I think you're better off using support and resistance, fib levels, and price action. Just my opinion. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing with the crypto market. I could talk about a bunch of crypto names if you guys want. Normally, I talk about the crypto names in the private show. So if you are not currently a member, consider signing up, and we can talk about any names that you want. I do a show after this called the Afterparty, and we go through any and all crypto names you can think of, any stock names, anything like that. And we talked about them for as long as people want. Usually we go for an hour and a half. Yeah, that's kind of all I've got. I mean, we're at about 30 minutes here. So I'm not sure. I think I'm probably going to call it here, and we'll go to the after party, and I'll talk about I want to talk about a bunch of stock names I'm looking at. I want to talk about some crypto names that I'm looking at. But, I think that's where I'll call it for today for the public show. Again, TRI Black Friday special, live, 50% off. Pro Tools, never going to be this cheap again. We're going to run it till Monday or Tuesday, and then we're going to shut it down. And I don't know I don't think we'll ever have these prices again until possibly next Black Friday. Not even sure. Who knows what's going to happen? If the breath keeps performing the way it is, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It's really crazy. Okay. Hope you guys, I will see most of you hopefully in the after party. But if I don't see you, hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, a amazing, exciting Black Friday, and a great weekend. And you don't spend all of your time on your phone shopping and your laptop or desktop or whatever, your VR headset. Hopefully you spend some time with your family and, you know, get outside, do some stuff, something that involves moving. I think people don't move enough today. So try to get out, do some kind of fun activity with everybody. Maybe play baseball or go out for tennis or golfing. So even golfing, I don't think golf is that physical, but you know, bowling, not really that physical, but at least you're moving. Rock climbing's fun. Should try that. Maybe a family paintball tournament. All right, now I feel like I'm just talking to myself. Okay, have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Great weekend. And if I don't see you in the after party, I will see you next week. Same time, same channel. All right, bye, everybody.